There was a morning when the silence felt brighter than the sun. I opened my window and watched the wind carry stories across the empty streets. Every leaf seemed to know a secret. Every cloud looked like a promise waiting to be understood. I had no map, no perfect plan, only a heart that refused to stop believing. The road ahead was long, painted with questions instead of answers, yet my footsteps echoed with quiet courage. I learned that hope is not loud, it whispers in the smallest moments, in the gentle smile of a stranger, in the rhythm of falling rain, and in the dream that refuses to disappear after another sleepless night. I carried broken memories like faded photographs, but they no longer felt heavy. They became reminders that even cracked glass can reflect beautiful light. The stars above were not asking me to be perfect. They were asking me to keep moving. Every sunrise wrote another line across the sky, telling me that endings are only hidden beginnings. I closed my eyes and breathed deeply, letting yesterday drift away like smoke. Then I stepped forward, ready to discover the melody waiting beyond the horizon, where fear slowly transformed into faith, and every heartbeat became another verse in the song of tomorrow. Roads stretched farther than my eyes could see, but I welcomed every mile with a hopeful soul. Mountains stood before me like ancient guardians, testing every promise I had made to myself. I stumbled more than once, yet every fall taught me a rhythm that no victory could ever explain. The echoes of doubt faded behind me while the sound of courage grew stronger. With every breath I realized that strength is not born from never breaking. It is born from choosing to rise again. The river sang gentle melodies as they traveled toward the endless sea, reminding me that every journey has its own beautiful destination. Birds painted invisible songs across the morning air, and the golden light wrapped the world in quiet peace. I carried kindness like a lantern through the darkest nights, discovering that even the smallest spark can guide a lost traveler home. Every smile I shared returned to me in unexpected ways, like stars appearing one by one after sunset. When the evening sky turned deep blue, I looked upward and thanked the universe for another chance to grow. My story was still being written, and every heartbeat added another line to a melody that belonged only to my soul, carrying hope beyond every horizon. The moon became my silent companion, shining softly through the longest nights. It never asked where I had been or why I carried invisible scars. It simply offered its gentle light, reminding me that even distant beauty can guide a wandering heart. I listened to the quiet between the sounds, where dreams are born before the world awakens. In that peaceful space, I found the courage to forgive every mistake that once felt too heavy to carry. Morning arrived with colors brighter than yesterday. The sky unfolded like a new page, inviting me to write another chapter without fear. I learned that every goodbye leaves room for a beautiful hello, and every ending quietly prepares the beginning of something greater. My footsteps became lighter as hope replaced regret. The wind no longer felt cold. It felt like a friend pushing me toward tomorrow. I smiled at the horizon, knowing that no storm lasts forever. Even the strongest rain eventually becomes a memory, feeding flowers that bloom in unexpected places. My voice grew stronger with every song I sang, not because life became easy, but because my heart chose faith over fear. And as the stars slowly faded into daylight, I realized the greatest journey was never across the world. It was always within my own soul. The seasons change without asking for permission, yet every change carrieth it in gift. Spring dressed the earth in gentle colors. Summer filled the air with fearless laughter. Autumn sprung the beauty of letting go. And winter reminded me that quiet moments can protect the strongest dreams. I no longer feared the passing of time, because every season left a lesson that stayed long after the weather had changed. I found melodies in places where I had once heard only silence. The heartbeat of the city, the whisper of distant forests, the crashing waves against forgotten shores, all became instruments in the orchestra of life. Every face I met carried a different story, and every story added another note to the music inside my heart. I understood that kindness travels farther than anger, and that love grows stronger when it is freely shared. As the horizon glowed with the colors of another sunrise, I lifted my head with gratitude instead of worry. My dreams were no longer distant stars beyond my reach. They were becoming footsteps beneath my feet, leading me toward a future built on hope, courage, patience, and faith. No matter how far the road continued, I knew I would never stop singing, because every new day offered another